Hey guys, make sure you go grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you enjoy drinking when you are learning something new. And today is my birthday, December 21st, but I am also just starting a playlist for you guys called Sip and Sub Coffee Conversations, where we just talk about anything in deep conversation about substitute teaching. So usually I am drinking black coffee. I am that crazy person that drinks the black coffee. Strong and very hot. But today, right now, I have ginger turmeric tea because I just worked out, as you can tell by these lovely looks. And I drank my coffee this morning. So I usually drink it twice a day. So how much coffee do you drink? And do you drink it black? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so today's topic is going to be what not to do as a substitute teacher. So I really thought about this topic after seeing a lot of teachers in Facebook groups talk about what they hated about a substitute teacher. And I thought to myself, as a substitute teacher mentor, that why don't I share what not to do? And then I'm also on Reddit and YouTube, of course, and I see people comment and say, like, should I do this? Should I not do this? And mistakes that I've heard from other substitute teachers. So that is how I came up with this topic. But wait till the end because I have a funny story of what not to do as a substitute teacher. And it's involving me and a beloved substitute teacher that I had when I was in elementary school. Now, the first one is controversial, I would say, and I was mad at this at first as well, and I think it depends on how much you are very patriotic, but don't get mad at students who do not stand up or say the Pledge of Allegiance. For me, as a leader, I always stood up and I said the Pledge of Allegiance and did everything correctly, but it is actually like not required to stand up and do that. And that's like really hard because it's kind of like, okay, but like this is our country. If you're not from the United States, I'm sure you guys do something similar, I would assume. But it's part of like being it's part of being in the United States, and you would think it's like it's a hard rule, but it's really not. So if you are in middle school and high school and you see students at least standing, you don't have to say something to them if they're not saying it. I always have worked with high school students and middle school students, and a lot of the times I was the only one saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would be like, oh, thank you for hearing me say that, and just make a joke about it and move on in life. It's not that big of a deal, but I understand if you are for it too. Now, this one came a couple times. I've had a couple people message me on Reddit, and they had asked me, not asked me, but they said that they made a mistake. And I was like, what's your mistake? And they were like, I accidentally dropped my vape at work and I didn't know it. And when I showed up in the office, like my name was on it and like the first name, so they thought it was a student's. And so the rule here is don't bring your vape to school. As a day-to-day substitute teacher, you might not know this. I don't know, because people smoke, people do things to like let loose, and I think vaping is one of them. It's a drug of choice. I like to drink alcohol, obviously not in school, no, but on the weekends or whatever. But my point is, you probably don't know like what's in the handbook, and in the handbook, I don't know. And I don't necessarily like to say it's common sense, because a lot of the times we're allowed to go vape other places, but it's in the handbook. You are not allowed to have anything on campus, drug related, alcohol related, gun related. You are not allowed to have it whatsoever. So just if you vape, I would suggest just leaving it at home, and that's it. Never, ever, ever rearrange the teacher's room. Now, I think there's one thing when if there's a student who's completely disruptive, you can't really go to the office, and you just like move the kid to the front for like a section of whatever you're teaching them that day, that is totally fine. But when you rearrange the room and then you don't put it back, it's just like sending this red flag to the teacher, like, who does this sub think they are? Like, and I don't know why you would rearrange a room. Like, I couldn't imagine even like going to my room at home and it being all of my stuff being in a different area than what I put it. Like, what the heck? I just don't do it. Another one is never to snoop through the teacher's desk. Now, again, one thing, there's always an exception rule if you've noticed with me. One thing, if you're looking for a Band-Aid or for a pass and you just go in really quick to that like small drawer in the front, pull it out and you see it, okay. But when you're snooping through the desk, there are very confidential things in there, as in maybe IEPs. There could be grades in there that like, that doesn't seem as fragile, just because like, okay, like you're a teacher, you're a substitute teacher, you see 76% for the class, like big whoop. But honestly, it's confidential. You don't know what could be in that desk, and it could be something that the teacher doesn't want anyone to know or see. So it's just, don't pry, don't snoop or do anything like that. And that one I think is a very common sense one. Another common sense one is don't ignore the students. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking like, okay, no crap. Okay, but like, I wouldn't come into a substitute teacher position to just ignore the kids. Well, I will tell you, it might not be you, but there are a ton of people who just go and sit on their phones and play games all day as a substitute. Don't let that be you. I have had it with clients and I had to be like, well, that's on you. Like, you are responsible. You're the teacher in there. And especially if you're working with high school students, I know that's hard because they're on their phones and it's like, okay, I guess I'll do the same. But like, you really can't. Be the example in the classroom. Just be the example. And yeah, you may get a text, you might get a call. You can either ignore it if it's a call. And of course, with a text, you can just say, hey, I'm in the middle of working with students. Catch you later. Walk around the classroom, monitor the students. Every once in a while, look at your phone to see what time it is and move on. Don't leave the room trashed. Now, some teachers are very messy people, and that's understandable. But don't just, when you messed up the room, if there was a craft day, whatever, don't just not clean it up. Always clean up and make it like cleaner than what it was before you got there. Now, I don't mean like organize it and how you want, just red up the room. I'm from Pittsburgh. What that means is clean up the room, all the scraps on the floor, the chairs pulled in, desks are nice and clean, whatever. And just, it's tidy. Like, they just want to come back to a tidy room. Don't not do the duty that the teachers do. So, for example, what I'm talking about is if a teacher has bus duty at the end of the day and they need you to do that, you need to do that. Or that one you could probably get away with a principal or whoever else is out there. Another one is like lunch duty. If you're in high school and you do lunch duty, the teacher does that, or hall duty. Like, you kind of you have to do it. It's part of your job. Like, I will admit, I hate lunch duty, but I go down there and I do it anyways. And one, it's nice because I get to talk to the teachers and see the students, and I'm out of the classroom. I'm walking around, like, so it's like just a breath of fresh air. But like, when you don't do that, like, one, there might not be another teacher there because they're assuming that teacher's there, or they're thinking like, okay, there's a sub, the sub will do it. And if you're not there, then I don't know what happens. Just things happen. But just make sure that you do like the duty that you're supposed to be doing. And if you're exempt from it, like bus duty will just say, and they say, hey, like, thank you for being here, but you can go home. Like, we have this covered. Okay, so be it. Okay, so I have a story for you. I got excited and I can't talk. And this involves me and a substitute teacher that I had when I was in elementary through high school, and he is still a teacher substitute today. And we'll just call him Greg. And so we were building subs, and we had to cover a special education classroom. And this special education teacher was one who was a resource teacher. So she had us, and so I was covering 8th period, and he was covering 9th period. So 2 different classes, obviously. And so in her directions, she wanted us to go into her like cabinet to get these papers and whatnot. And I noticed a bin full of fruit snacks. And I was like, ooh. And I was hungry, but I was like, ooh, fruit snacks. And I just went back to doing what I had to do because the students were in the room. So I was just like, whatever. So I did what I was supposed to do. And then the next period, Greg did what he was supposed to do. And that Saturday, we get a text from the teacher, and she goes, did you eat my snacks? That's where I was laughing. Maybe it's just funny because it was me. I don't know. But I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she's like, did you eat my snacks? And I was like, no. And Greg texts back and goes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I ate all the snacks. I kid you not, it was a huge bin of at least more than 30 like fruit snacks. And he ate them all. Now, I understand that like you were hungry. And I just crack up at that story. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I saw him then that Monday, and I was like, did you really eat them? He was like, I didn't think that she would notice. I'm like, it was a huge bin. It almost looked like it was Halloween full of candy stuff. And like, you ate them all. Like, what did you do? Like, stuff your backpack? I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. And I'm glad that I had self-control and didn't do that. But moral of the story, if you see snacks in their room and it is not offered to you, do not eat it. That's not for you. It's for the students. It was for her students who had like behavioral issues and they had a great day. They could have a snack, or they needed a break. They could have a snack. That's what that's for. And so like, they might not tell you that, but use your common sense a little bit and just realize that a lot of teachers recognize and are so happy for you to be there that they will be like, thank you so much for coming in today. Here's some pretzels and chips and a pop for you. And they set it out for you. So like you would know that's for you, and that, and whatnot. So anyways, I really hope that you enjoyed this video today, and I hope that story made you laugh, and I will see you in the next one.